never heard of PsychoCuties? If you didn't, I don't blame you because this indie project is sort of underground. Not everybody knows it exists. It's something that is just recommended your page. When you watch it, you'll be a little confused because you're not sure what did you watch. It's not confusing. It's just that the main narrator or the main lead, Dr. Psycho, who actually introduces himself, does things, but he says things that kind of contradict what he does. And that's the whole point of the pilot. On top of all this, he has a sort of assistant that he maybe abused, they decorate, but you don't know what is she. Is she a specific race of this world or not? He's just specific creator. And that's the thing about this pilot. It just builds all this question. He doesn't answer it. On top of all this, everything he does around him tell the story of his own world, one actually telling you. That's why I meant at the very beginning, you have to sort of rewatch multiple times to actually get what the whole deal is. Even that, you still wasn't sure, but it makes more interesting thing. This also had a comic continuation or a prequel, you may say, that actually explains more about the doctor and the world he lives in. Now, before I continue, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, do reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, if you like how this is going, you would like to help out on my channel, just put a like, comment, and subscribe. One of those things that really helps my channel. It's super obvious how actually small I am. A little thing really helps. If you do, thank you. Especially all my new subscribers. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the things you put like, comment, and subscribe. I got nothing else to say, just continuing on this sort of indie gem. Because let's face it, there are a lot of indies on YouTube, Facebook, or whatever web channel you actually go to. And some of them go underground. I mean, really underground. Like a PsychoCutie. PsychoCutie is sort of popular, but it's not mainstream popular indie. It's something that you hit or miss. But on top of all this, when you watch it, you're really not sure what you watch. It's something that the first time I watched it, I wasn't impressed because it's sort of trying to be dark, but also very Looney Tune-esque. It's sort of a very interesting balance, but I think the only problem of the pilot needed another minute or two to really hit the sweet spot, in other words. But besides that, if you didn't feel the pilot, they also made a prequel comic sort of explores more about the Doctor, who he is, and how he actually thinks. He also really nails down everything he says should be trusted, everything he sees should be not trusted. And that's basically the hook of this indie project because it just grabs your attention. Even if you don't think the pilot is that good, when you start unraveling, trying to explore and understand, hear other fans' own explanation, what they see, you are invested because that's how interesting this indie project really is. I think a good start is talk about how everything starts. Dr. Psycho sort of introducing himself that he is a doctor, a genius, a artist because what he says, what he means an artist, he actually kills, murder, massacre, maybe people, maybe we don't know they are people because he does hint later on they are beast creatures, but we don't know he just attacked the beast creatures or the people itself. And on top of all this, when he introduced, he says his art, he means Uska. They serve assistant timid cat girl that she is traumatized. Even that he says he made her, but at the same time, you don't know that how much true he really is or how much lie he actually says. Because she is sort of scared, confused, but how he explains she can't do anything without him, so I take care of her because she's my creation. Even when he says her name, not her just her name, how he says it, sort of soft, calming, maybe disturbing because when he says Uska's name, she just flats out knocked out. In other words, she just freezes, just passes out. And everything cuts away when your doctor starts saying her name, saying, Uska, listen to me. And out of nowhere, the doctor just freaks out. But you think, oh, he freaks out because he is caring. No, no, he freaks out because it's sort of kind of psycholistic moment. Like he goes berserk and grabs her and chokes her. But everything just cuts off and back on. Every time he does that, you've seen how kind of vicious he is, but he doesn't strangle her. He just hold her by the sides and shake her, but how freaking out he really is. But once again, it cuts off, it cuts back in, he introduces himself again. It says time to go work of his own project. During this time, you just see him in the operating room, kind of confused, thinking he doesn't remember this shot, his chemicals he has in his arm, supposed to knock someone out or just make him don't feel pain. And you see someone in the table room, you're not sure unconscious or alive or just bunch of dead parts, so in together. And that's the thing make this party so interesting. You just don't know. And that sort of kind of disturbs you because the very point the doctor says, I just don't care anymore. I've got to try to see what happens. Also, to interpret what he says, that he's sort of incompetent. That really hits the point. Maybe he's not a real doctor. Maybe he just gave himself a doctor just because he's sort of crazy. And that's what I mean about this pilot. It just sort of adds so many questions. A bad pilot give you questions, but it give you a bad taste. A good pilot asks you questions, want to know more because you're intrigued. And this pilot does that specifically because it continues out even more fascinating because when he started operating, it went sort of Looney Tunes logic because this pilot is sort of kind of adult, sort of dark and grim. He go to very dark areas, but he trying to be not that dark, trying to make it funny and out there, trying to relax you, then surprise you again. Because after he operates this and completely fails, he just put it in the bag and give it to Uska and tell her, do not open the bag. And Uska, terrified, she takes the bag. At this point, you just hear her own interpretation, her thoughts, like, Uska is a good girl. Uska needs the doctor. I love the doctor. And she keeps repeating very similar things that almost feel that she is in love with them, or even worse, that she trying to convince herself this is normal. The doctors love me. He's not hurting me on purpose. He has a reason. Like how she says it, it's sort of your own interpretation. Some people believe she's sort of traumatized, brainwashed, or even that trying to lie to herself to feel her own comfort. But the only problem is, Uska sort of fell down and dropped the bag. Out of nowhere, the doctor heard that and went straight to Uska. At this point, you believe this is it. This is the point. Uska probably will die because of the doctor. And you just see the flashback on her own eyes, a hand only attacking her. And this is a point, another perfect point to stop, because you don't know, this is a flashback, this is about to happen again, or this is sort of a memory she actually has when she was kidnapped by the doctor or reassembled, or even that this is the point that she was sort of died her former life. It's that's your own interpretation. And this moment you think, oh, this is the end for Uska. No, no, no. The doctor just patted her head, and that's okay, Uska. Just don't do it again. And you just see her sort of confused, wondering, this is okay, this is safe, right? And sort of how the whole episode go, the doctor still explaining things, how everything works, all that, but kind of leave a lot of questions, even more, especially when it happened at the very end, how the doctor treats Uska like a pet. Doctor call her name, purr in her lap, and rubs her like a pet cat, even that she is a cat girl. That's sort of kind of creepy, but at the same time, maybe endearing. I say maybe. I don't think it's officially endearing. It's that's the thing about this pilot. It just sort of questions a lot of things about the scenario of everything. It's one of those you sit down, you're not sure what you saw, you need to talk to someone to compare notes, you would say, because you're not really sure how everything actually is going on. On top of all this, later on, the creator actually dropped a prequel comic of the happenings of the Doctor before the cat girl came into the Doctor's life. Because in the comic, he sort of explains his sort of narration, actually give a little bit more understanding of the Doctor in the world, because how that comic sort of reads that he hates Halloween because it's not truly horror, or he hates the rich people. He hates so many things to the point he went a little mad. I mean, mad. He actually kidnaps a cat. At least that's what you see. That's what you see a first time he takes a cat away, because he thinks it's a perfect succulent. He pulls the bag, goes back in the room, and when he reveals it, it wasn't a cat anymore. It was a very young girl. In fact, this girl looks like extremely like Uska, but at the same time, she's not Uska. That's not her name. She's just a normal girl who's sort of trapped with the Doctor. And this comic make that super creepy scene more interesting, because this is the point you realize how crazy the Doctor is, how he hates her because she pretends to be scary. Almost semi-sexually, but at the same time terrifying in a way that he has full control, but he hates it in a way. And that sounds confusing, but you have to read the comic. It's something that just truly make it kind of creepy, but also very fascinating at the same time, because he really wants to hurt her, but at the same time have this sort of conversation, because the girl trying not to be scared, trying not to give him what he wants. That, at least this I chose interpreted what she trying to say, because she trying to make defriend him, trying to convince him not to do whatever he about to do, because he does explain he about to be his project. He gonna rip her to pieces and remake her. And that's the thing, it's just super interesting, because he just stops. He never really goes any further, just taking her shirt, almost with a knife under her, tempted to cut her, but he realized this is messed up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm messed up. Maybe this is not fear. And he has more a conversation with a young girl, understanding, yeah, this is not right. Like, he knows what he's doing is not right. Like, he letting her go and tell her, just leave. Oh, if you don't have a ride, I drop you wherever you need to go, and drops her. But this is the interesting part, that when he drops her, she became a cat again. Once again, we don't know. This is his delusion of she becoming a cat girl, or this is a real thing about this world. Because at the very beginning of the comic, he says all the different holidays he hates, but except for one, the Beastman holiday. That's sort of confirming beast people do exist. At least that's if you trust the narration of the Doctor, because we just don't know this cat creature. These transform in front of the Doctor. We don't know this is an illusion. He's basically torturing a cat. I mean, honestly, it was torturing a person, or just a cat is just being tortured, and he sees a person instead. And that's the thing about this comic. It also lays out for more questions at the end of the comic, that he is sort of knowing he's messed up, but at the same time, because it's his own parents. He doesn't talk about that much, but he sort of briefly states that he was sort of damaged by his own parents. Maybe because he didn't have enough attention to them, they abuse him. He doesn't go into detail. He just sort of blamed sort of his parents, but also leaves a lot of questions. Maybe they basically punish him because he knew he was sort of kind of messed up or didn't know how to treat him. Maybe that's what miscommunications. We just honestly don't know. In fact, this also have another semi pilot before this one. It's sort of a music video about Dr. Psycho, but a different universe. Mini Uska even tempted what to do to her. That version, he actually tempted to take her soul, but yet it's completely different universe. Like somehow, some way, the Doctor and Uska always meet. The Doctor always takes her, or at least does something interesting, because in the comic book does leave something I forgot to mention. The Doctor cuts Uska, or the fake Uska, and takes her blood because he wants to sort of do a project of her blood, because how he find her interesting, because all about the conversation he has with the fake Uska, in other words. And that was sort of interesting because this is sort of the origins of Uska, how he takes the blood of this girl because he found fascinating, because he wants to remake her. At least that's what I chose to interpret, because we don't know how many times he attempted to do this, or we don't know this is sort of his own imagination, or he's just sort of mentally ill. He actually realized it. On top of this, we don't know he actually did actually kill someone, because it's super very vague. There are blood, guts, and gore, but we don't know all the body parts are taken from a graveyard or what. Once again, it's all about the interpretation. That's what makes it so interesting. Even that everything I say is not really fully covered, because there's more things to talk about, but it's sort of hard to talk about everything because it's all about the theories or things what people fan thinks about this pilot. What it's trying to say. It's just so much to cover. I can only cover only one video. Of course, depends how many people like this video and watch it. I probably make another video sort of breaking down the world, because it is a lot of things to talk about. How everything was made, why these people exist. Maybe it's sort of hard to really go deep dive. I have to really go deep dive. The only way is depends on how people watch this and like it. If you do like it, put a like and put a comment saying yes, do more videos going deeper. Yeah, probably will, or it depends how people watch it, put a like. Either or, that's why I'm sort of holding back. Of course, I have this one question before I end everything. You ever heard of a PsychoCutie? Because it's sort of kind of a very underground animated pilot that is slowly growing. Of course, if you want to see a English translation, there are two. They're basically fan dubs. The original is sort of German, I think, or Russian. I'm not really sure. Correct me down below. But it's very short. That's something that you could watch the original or watch the fan dub, because it's about 4 minutes long. The comic also is not that long, and also the kind of spiritual sequel of a different universe, that also not that long. It's something you could really finish under like a half an hour, in other words. But it's something that's just truly interesting in how everybody keep talking about their own interpretation. And it's one of those pilots I highly recommend everybody to watch. Even that it's sort of very dark subject matter, it sort of leaves you for more questions to actually want to know more, because how well it actually was made. But be fair, I feel the pilot is not as strong as it should have, but yet it still gives you a strong impression to even want more. Now, before I end this, I want to ask you one more question. Do you see the pilot? Do you like it? Do you understand it? Or you don't care about it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.